So I've been done that for about 28 years now. And he had no clue. And one day, him and another friend of his was talking in the dining hall because I was the cook in that kitchen over there. And they were talking about, we've got to nip this in the bud. These staff members are talking about seeing a ghost over here and seeing something over here, and we just got to stop this now. And I'm in the kitchen, and I'm like, sir? And he's like, yes? And I'm like, they're telling the truth. I have a gift. I can see them, I can hear them, and they're telling the truth. And he had to think on it a couple of days, and he came and talked to me. So these stories that I'm telling you are actual events that have actually happened to me, happened to Melissa. We've actually seen, felt, heard these spirits here. There is still a spirit right now in that cabin over there. We've already heard her today. She is an old Victorian lady.
Don't freak Isaac out.
That's where he lives. You sure you want to hear these stories?
Go for it.
It's never been a problem.
I've been here for 13 years, and the stories I'm going to tell you have taken me years to piece together. Because you get a little piece of this ghost, and a little piece of this ghost, and a little bit of story here, and they all connect. Right? So there's the Victorian lady over there in the climbing cabin. There is an old Civil War dude, and I actually have a picture of this lady, but I didn't know about this for 24 hours before it happened, so I couldn't hunt them all down. But I have pictures of Civil War dude in this framing of the climbing cabin, and he's going like this, and his wife is right here in front of him, so he's holding his wife. Okay. So there's those. We've got orbs here. I've gotten EVPs here. I've gotten all sorts of fun stuff here, and some not so fun stuff. Okay? So those are a little bit here. But everywhere you go in this place, as he said, they think this place is sacred. It is sacred. The spirits are here. They are drawn here. Okay? So, there's a gentleman that was here in this very place that we are, that we would come and play and have fun, because there was lots of happy kids here, right? But he was a prankster. He liked to move things around, and when Melissa and I would come in, we would just start laughing uncontrollably. Nothing happened. We would just start laughing. And I'm like, oh, we can't remember his name. It wasn't Mark, was it? That's the other one with Mark and Steve.
I think it was John.
John
Was a prankster.
John. Anyway, he was a prankster. And he would just like to have fun. And so you would walk in here and just start laughing. No reason. There's nothing to it. You could feel his happy joy face. Okay? So there's John here. And some of the names I can't remember, and I should write them down when I do this, so I don't forget. But you know, after 28 years, you forget about it. So, we have that. There was a gentleman in the dining hall. He would come, you could sit down in the dining hall, you saw the tables, those tables haven't changed, they've been here. And you could hear footsteps. You can hear the footsteps on them. Yep, just like that. You turn around thinking another staff member would come into the dining hall. You turn around, no one there. I would get up in the morning to start breakfast, and my cupboard doors would be open. Not all of them, just one or two here and there, and I know I had them closed before I went to bed. But the doors would be open. Didn't know that one, did you? There's a lot of things I didn't tell you, Reed.
There's a lot of things you
want to know.
Okay? So this gentleman was actually a gentleman. His name's Roger. He belonged in the program director's cabin, which is another cabin down this direction. He hated women and love because his wife left him for another lady, or for another gentleman. So he's an older lady gentleman. And we had, Caitlin was her name. She was married. She stayed down there because she was the program director. In the morning, she could not find her wedding ring. Frantic. She didn't know what to do. She was looking, digging through the sheets, and she finally found the wedding ring. Roger had taken the wedding ring off because he doesn't like it. Or marriage, or anything, because he was hurt. Okay? So, he told me a story about somebody else in the Med Lodge about a lantern or a flashlight. Okay, this flashlight you know, there's scouts wandering around with all sorts of flashlights. So we decided one year that I needed to sleep there. This is after he found out. Of course, there's this light, and I'm like, oh yeah, that looks like a flashlight. Let's go back. In an L shape. My bed against this, doors over there. In an L shape like this, going back. Till it gets about this close to my face. That's enough. That's far enough, please. It stops. I'm like, you can go back over there. And continues his path. Now, whenever this light comes around, I would get really antsy. Not because I'm scared, because I'm a ghost hunter. I don't care. Okay? But I would get nervous and start doing this with my hands. I didn't know why. Couldn't figure it out. Okay. So then I start asking questions, as we do. Who are you? Are you male? You're female. Female. Her name is Katrina. The reason why I get antsy and keep doing this is because her husband is a miner. And he hasn't come home. He hasn't come home. He hasn't come home. And I don't know where he is. And I'm nervous and I can't look. And I'm scared. And I don't know what's going on. And I'm scared. Okay? Well, Mr. Roberts over here happens to be the brother to Katrina. He sticks around because husband isn't gone and he wants to know what's going on. He's here to protect her. Okay? Again, this takes years to figure this all out, people. It just doesn't happen overnight. But I'm not the first person to see that ghost light. So there's been other people documented for this. Okay? Now, Katrina's doing this. Years later, of course, this is all collecting. I'm sleeping in the museum. Sure you want to hear these?
Let's go for
Okay? The top of the stairs is where my bed is. So you go to the stairs, there's a little landing, there's my bed. Sleeping in the bed, and I hear some noise. Peer over my bed and look down there, and I'm like, oh, jeez. Something is crawling up the stairs. Zombified. Flesh. Coming off. Gross, disgusting. Going, did everybody just see that? Say, look over again. Yep, it's farther up the stairs. Okay, so this gentleman is coming up the stairs at me. I'm like, great. Not only did it stay around in the bed, it would follow me over to the kitchen. Okay? Sometimes in ghost hunting, spirits come for you to learn and figure out what's going on. My sister is also a medium. I called her that weekend and said, there's this creepy dude. He's following me around. He's creeping me out. What the heck? Talk to him and figure out what's going on. And all she got was, he's there for you to learn. Great, thanks. So I said, okay, what's your story? Tell me. I don't know. He goes, well, I went out. I left my wife. Went ghost hunting. Gold in my mind. He found the gold, but it happened to be up. So he's pickaxing it, and of course it caves in on him. Therefore he's cut up, and he dies in the cave, and it fills with water, which helps destroy the flesh. Okay? So then I said, okay, so why are you coming to me and not your wife? Well, she's going to get mad at me. Okay. So what do you want me to do? Well, I want you to be the medium, in between. I said, okay, I will. So I said, you go downstairs. I'm upstairs in the cabin, in the new cabin still. I says, all right. I'm like, Katrina, can you come over here for a minute? She goes, you know, she came over from the med lodge over to my place. She goes, what do you need? And I said, your husband's returned, but he came to me first. Why is he coming to you? Why isn't he coming to me? I'm the wife. Why? I said, what are you doing right now? Well, I'm angry and mad. I said, that's why. You need to calm down. Took her a few minutes. Well, what happened? I told her. She goes, okay, so he didn't leave me on purpose. No, he crashed in. So why did it take so long? Why did he wait forever to come back? Just like humans, just like us, because they're humans. He finally got his gold. He didn't want to leave his gold. He finally got his gold. He was greedy. He didn't want it. So finally he came. And I said, all right, will you calm down enough now to meet him? And she goes, yes. And I said, okay, come on up. And I'm one of those mediums that feel the feelings. So I burst into tears, crying like crazy as they met again. So it's kind of a love story, kind of a, gross, disgusting story. But that happened here. And it took me years to connect the dots of all of them intertwined. There are lots of ghosts all around here all the time. There are Lily Lake up there. If you go on this hike tomorrow, there is no other staff members who go up there on our overnight campfire who have heard an Indian chief or a shaman up there. And he actually...
Camus Lake.
Is that Camus Lake up there? Okay, Camus, I thought it was Lily. But anyway, Lily's down that way. So, and she said they could actually hear him like run across the water. You could hear the footsteps of others. Not steps, but hear it run across the water. So there are lots of ghosts up here. And for those of you who really want to hang around, I will hang around, and I did bring my ghost hunting equipment. So if you guys want to go have fun for a little while afterwards, I will gladly do that for you. Now, Melissa was also my partner in crime up in the loft. Okay? Do you want to tell a story? Or?
Yeah.